Hello, amazing people from the web. I am back for my next episode of my travels. I've been in Mexico now for something like 45 days, and I want to share a bit about what's been happening for me and just letting you know a bit how it is to be a traveler that is looking for herself on a trip and trying to combine this with the beginning of being a digital nomad. So if you are interested in this kind of experiences and want to hear a bit of a direct experience, then just stay on this video. I'll just be sharing a little bit about my story and what's been going on. So my last video, I did it at the end of a training that I was taking in Mexico in Cozumel. And since then, I have followed, basically I had no idea what to do, where to go in Mexico, and I have a very, very limited amount of money with me. And I had a friend who reached out. This friend is in Puerto Escondido in Oaxaca region in Mexico. So I decided to take a flight and come and meet her here. I don't know much about astrology, but people have been telling me about this Mercury retrograde thing and that it fucks up technology. And oh my god, I mean, I've been sharing a little bit on my Instagram. I've had the most challenging first world problem time since I arrived in Mexico. Yeah, actually, but even more since I arrived in Oaxaca. Basically, I had my phone that started overheating, like to a point that I could not use it. My computer that I had repaired not long ago, the guy said, yeah, now you're good for at least 5 years, don't worry. And I spent a little fortune on that repairing. Is not finding the Wi-Fi signals or having really a lot of difficulty, and the Wi-Fi is not good here. I can't airdrop anymore, it's just super slow, it also heats up, like it's been really a nightmare. And the internet in Mexico, I discovered there is no subscriptions that gives you unlimited data. So you can only get 8 GB at a time. And most places that I've been in had no Wi-Fi or really bad Wi-Fi. So I've been having to find ways around this. And it's been a nightmare, because this is where you discover like, wow, 8 GB in my world where I watch a lot of videos is really not a lot, especially downloading videos, watching videos, everything. It's been a nightmare. And then I ended up buying a new phone. And this phone, and I put a bit of a budget in there. It was from my savings accounts of like in case of emergency. And I thought, okay, I'll stay with iPhone, which I still don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know why I'm sticking with iPhone. But anyway, so I stuck with iPhone and got an iPhone 11, not even a Pro, which was more expensive than I would have paid if I would have paid it in Europe. And it started heating up. My fingers are blistered from all of the heating up on my phone, and I brought it to be repaired, and they repaired it, gave it back to me, or repaired it, or whatever they did, and it's still heating up. And then I went back again, and they basically told me that they would have to check it again, erase everything that I have on it, and in the case that it's really malfunctioning, they have to contact Apple, and Apple has to send over a new iPhone, which means that within that time frame, that could be a week from what they said, but I'm guessing it's Mexico, it might take longer, I would have no phone. And because I don't have a Wi-Fi, I don't have a computer, and my other phone is just being a total douchebag. So yeah, I had that, and I had problems with the air conditioning. I have my suitcase that broke, and I have my visa that expired. Like, I just had so many things. Visa expiring in Mexico was really stupid on my behalf, because I thought that I get automatically the time that I thought that you get automatically 3 or 6 months, but that they just want to know that you have a ticket out. and I had the ticket out that I wasn't planning on taking. Just it made it really complicated. I went to immigration and asked them if they could change it, and they said no, I have to get out of the country. So it's been really a bit of a nightmare and a bit complicated. And I joined here to see one of my beautiful friends that we actually did a video together about codependence. And I've had just the most unsuccessful time here. We haven't been able to study or to work on our projects, and I was just feeling like I'm just falling into a hole and just feeling shittier and shittier. And then the people that I was meeting, there was a lot of like, I don't know, there was not good connections with them, and it was just a nightmare basically. And what happened is that I started deciding that I am taking too many decisions from the mind, like what I would want to work. And I was just like battling and resisting everything that was happening to me. Then I had a friend that came over, a friend from Switzerland, and we started talking about medicine journeys, and I told her that I was really attracted to medicine journeys but also extremely afraid, and that I would want to do a medicine journey with a shaman that I know and that I trust. And then it clicked that I saw on Instagram that someone that I met in Greece who holds medicine ceremonies was actually in Mexico. So I wrote to him. And he answered right away and told me that just in 3 days I am going to the north of Mexico, to the desert, to do a 10-day retreat with breathwork and medicine from the desert. And I was like, shit, this is not at all what I planned. Like it involved me going to to another piece of the country with a flight and just changing all my plans. But it felt so right. It felt so right in my body. Like I really had the call and the fear, and like there was a lot of emotions, but I just felt like something is asking me to go there. And also it meant like, again, no internet, not being able to work on my business. And I just decided to go with it. And things have been going rather smooth when I started going there. I stayed in a hostel, in a dorm room, which I haven't done in so long, just one night, and then took a bus to the desert, which, by the way, the guy told me, the bus takes 4 hours, and it took 7. I was like, okay. I made myself friends with the bus driver because I didn't want him to forget me on one of the toilet stops. But then I arrived in the desert, and in the desert I had a friend of this shaman that came to fetch me, and she's like a beautiful Italian witch. Like I just saw this woman arrive with her bright clear eyes, I don't know which color, maybe blue, maybe green, I don't know, and like long hair that are really like a bit wild. And I saw her and she was like a vision. Like from the moment I saw her, it just felt like a good omen. And from there I went to the house, which was a bit further on. We needed to take a car to get there, and I met amazing people. We were a small group, we were 5, 4 women and 1 man, the shaman, and then we had an amazing journey. Like it was walking a lot in the desert, walking up the Quemado, which is a sacred mountain of the Wihikuta, I think, tribe. And it was just incredible. And it's so funny because I am not a desert person. I like water, I like plants, I like jungle, forests. And this was desert, just pines, spikes, cactuses, and not any scorpions or snakes because it's winter time, so they're sleeping. But oh my god, it was the most grounding experience for some reason. And you know, the house was very dirty, it was dusty everywhere. We were just laughing at how much dust there was on everything. The water ran out twice because there is not that much water. So it's just like, it was really, really an adventure, and it just the the purpose of that retreat was to reconnect to your soul. And I had my mind that was imagining that it would look a certain way, and actually it just didn't. It manifested completely differently. And what manifested for me was a lot of feeling of trust, feeling of like connection to something, connection to the earth, connection to the spirits, connections to the other people. And since I I arrived in Mexico, it was the first time also that I was feeling really connected to the people around me. And we spent some time with this other shaman woman that I had a huge crush on because she's amazing. She just became my spiritual big sister. And having nights by the fire with the drums and the guitar, and singing medicine music, meeting some other travelers that are like on a spiritual quest to find themselves as well. And it's been, I don't know, it was heart lifting. It was incredible. And after that week, we went back to Monterrey, spent a night there, and then I took a flight back to Oaxaca area. I arrived in Huatulco, and I thought, okay, my friend, the one with who I spoke about for the medicine journey, was in Mazunte. So I decided to stay with her, and I also had a couple of friends that were there. So I did 3 days with them, and just like, yeah, slowing it down, feeling people, feeling the connection, arriving back into the heat, into the jungle, being devoured by mosquitoes. Like, this is really something I did not miss when I was in the desert, because strangely, there were no mosquitoes, which I guess normally there would be, or maybe they like water. Anyway, you can see how much I know about mosquitoes. And then I went with some friends. We went to Puerto. They dropped me off, and I arrived in Puerto, and I was like, oh, like the energy of the place just made me feel like I was before going to the desert. Like, it just reminded me of feeling like shit. It reminded me of being not well. And I went back to the same house that someone is renting me, that I'm paying them to rent to be in, which is a friend of a friend. And yeah, so the first feelings were like, oh my god, I'm back in this place. But then I remembered the shaman that I spent time with, which is called Luca Firewolf, was telling me that you never come back to where you were before. Even if you feel like you do, the fact that you lived some experience, the fact that the world is constantly changing, you know, time, environment, weather, everything is changing constantly. Our cells are regenerating, so you're never going back to where you were. And even though I had that feeling of like, oh my god, I remember this place as being a bit of a prison and just a problem space, I also had this like new faith in life and in myself that I didn't feel connected to before, which is really touching me, because it was actually something that I was looking for. I was like, I just want to have faith. I want to believe and trust in the world and in life. And that experience really connected me to something so deep and so outside my comfort zone. And I really feel it came back with me. And yeah, so then I caught myself, and I thought, like, because my idea was like, oh no, I'm gonna go back to Mazunte, and I'm just gonna pay for this place and another place, and forget even about the money scarcity. Like, I don't have that kind of money to just be like luxuriously moving around when I'm not comfortable. I was just thinking, like, I don't want to be running away from what I feel. And my teacher, Leila Martin, I was listening to a video within the coaching training that I'm doing yesterday, and she said, if you're feeling stuck, it's perfect. If you're frustrated, it's perfect. If you're feeling awful, it's perfect. Trust that everything that you're feeling is perfect and is exactly where you need to be. She might have not said these exact words, but she said something along those lines. And this was it. I was like, no, I want to be living with everything that's going through me and allowing myself to exist exactly as I am. I'm not sure this is what I wanted to say, but I decided to stay in Puerto. I'm in this place until the 5th of March. And I thought I'm gonna take this time to integrate the experience and to work on myself and my creativity and give myself time to feel, to experience, to be with myself. And it feels really good and it feels really nourishing. And all of the problems that I had before, all the bad internet, all the phone overheating, everything like this, I have a different perspective on it because it's still happening. I still have Wi-Fi and phone problems, but I have a different perspective on it. I'm like, it's okay, you know, I will work with this and I'll take care of it somewhere, you know, sometime in the future if some opportunity comes up. I don't want to be battling against it. It works well enough that I can work with them. It doesn't work well enough that I'm super comfortable and extremely happy, but I decide on how I feel and I don't want the outside environment dictating how I am feeling. And so I'm just going with the flow. Okay, so if I can't use my phone now because now my phone is too warm, what can I do? I can do a video, I can read, I can dance, I can move, I can write, I can go out for a walk even though it's really, really warm. I can do whatever I want. So I am feeling like this right now. This is a bit what's going on with me. And from the 5th to 15th of March, I am planning on being in Mazunte in a co-working house with other women from my coaching program. And yeah, just being a bit in a bubble of sisterhood, and we'll see what comes out from that. And after 15th of March, who knows? Who knows? And another thing is I met in the desert, there was this 25-year-old Israeli guy that was traveling alone without money since 3 years that really taught me a lot, like really a lot. He was full of wisdom, this kid. But he told me he works a lot with human design, which I don't know much about, but of course I've heard about it. Maybe you have as well. I believe I'm a... Oh, you see, I don't even remember what I am. A generator? The thing that everybody, that most population is. But he was going through my chart, map, whatever it's called, and he was telling me, stop planning from the mind and follow your intuition. And I really feel what he means. He said, check into your body, what is happening there, and go where you're excited or where you're afraid. Go where there's a reaction rather than pushing for some stuff to happen. And so I don't want to go into, you know, pushing against resistances. I want to really go where I feel now I'm called there. And I'm at the point where I'm actually feeling really grateful for traveling alone. Of course, I have moments where I'm like, oh, I wish my boyfriend was with me, or that I had a travel buddy. But when I was with the group or when I was with my friend in Mazunte, I did realize, like, when I'm with a group, I have to sacrifice some stuff that I really want to be doing, and I can't listen to myself the same way. So yes, there's the comfort that it's easier to, you know, approach people or go out if I'm surrounded, but there's also the limitation that what happened, for example, is I had a lot of energy and all the friends I was with were really tired and wanted, you know, like to have calm evenings and not go out. And for me, I felt like going out, which is something that I usually don't feel. And also there was a lot of like eating and going out and spending money on food involved. And normally I try to cook. I do this because I'm not a very good cook, but I try to cook for myself, and I limit expenses on food. So it was not the way that I would travel, and because I was in a group, I had to go with the energy of the group. But for a lot of other reasons, it was beautiful. Anyway, so this is one of my episodes. I'm saying one of because I can't remember which one. and I hope you enjoy listening to this and that it makes you want to travel as well and maybe meet your soul.